Here we are. Greetings, beloveds, and welcome back once again. As mentioned yesterday, today we're going to be doing a little bit more diving into Voyagers 1, the Sleeping Abductees. Just kind of skimming through this section discussing the 12 tribes for yet another way of getting over oneself and getting into topics no one really cares about. Or do they? So let's just get right into it, shall we? The 12 tribes. Several thousand years again passed, during which time there were periods of relative stability and instability as Tara rebalanced and realigned its magnetic grid. During this cycle, it was decided by the creators of the Tyrannusium that yet another experiment would be tried. They would again seed their humans, this time into the Earth system. This time it would be done more slowly. The genetic imprint of the original prototype would be broken down into sections or sub-imprints. Each imprint would be used to create a smaller prototype or subspecies of the original Tyrannusium. The genetic package was broken down into 12 units, each containing two primary attributes of the original pattern. The original pattern possessed 12 strands of DNA. The 12 were separated into individual packages and then polarized. Each of the 12 subspecies were assigned on a genetic level to rebundle their polarized strand into one complete unit. As each of the 12 groups of beings or tribes overcame the duality coded within its genetic structure, it would be brought into alignment with the tribes that had done the same. Through this process, the human genetic strain would over time evolve into the wholeness of its original pattern. The digressive elements that were mutated into the strain from its animal interbreeding would slowly be mutated out, leaving behind the pure code of the human prototype. It was and is a plan that would take several 100,000 years to complete if the species was able to evolve rather than fall into de-evolution once more. Your biblical stories of origins and of the flood emerged out of this drama. The fall, in biblical terms, representing the digression brought on by animal interbreeding, the resulting mutation of form, and the cataclysmic events that nearly terminated the species 550 million years ago. The version of that story popular in your times has been twisted and contrived away from its original symbolic meaning. The flood within your story represents the period of time when the 12 subspecies of humans were reseeded upon the earth. The Sodom and Gomorrah drama is a retranslation of the Atlantean Lemurian events that occurred on Tara before the flood, these two elements being combined into a new version carrying the same theme but restructuring the time context. Hold on, I need to wet my whistle. Adam and Eve were symbolic personages representing the polarization of the substrands of DNA and the birth of duality of consciousness. The symbolic story of Adam and Eve was itself twisted from its true meaning, which in allegorical form stood for the polarization of the 12 single strands of the subspecies. Your version promotes the idea that Eve was created out of the rib of Adam, which symbolically implies that man was created first. The polarization of the DNA and the resulting birth of duality of gender occurred simultaneously. It further encourages you to believe that woman was created to serve man, to be lesser, and to play subservient roles. These distortions were purposely given to you to keep you and to keep from you and suppress the power and wisdom held within the female form and consciousness. Through this distortion, the polarities of duality within each of the 12 subspecies could never be overcome, and thus the completion of human evolution into its original exalted form could never be actualized. Just as the original creators of the human prototype desired to see the fulfillment of the species as guardians of the earth and Tara, there also exist forces of great power that do not wish this plan to succeed. If humans are able to fulfill their evolutionary blueprint, the earth and many other reality fields will no longer be free for exploitation. They will become protected by a species equal in power. Ooh, interestingly enough, I just did a split and the first card I looked at was protection. Very much so pertaining to what we're leading into to draw this to a close. So in just a moment we will take a look at this card. Let's see. They will become protected by a species equal in power and greater in knowledge than those who wish to misuse these realities. It is from this interdimensional conflict that your concepts of good versus evil and God versus devil emerge. One group of advanced beings wishes to see humans evolve into wholeness, equality, and co-creatorship, while another group of beings desires to stunt the evolution of humanity so it can continue to utilize its resources for self-serving purposes. The latter group has come to represent the dark or evil forces within the collective human consciousness, while the former has emerged into your mythologies of the gods. Because of this cosmic conflict, so to speak, attempts have been made by both sides throughout your history to train the evolving humans. One set of teachings will lead humans to evolve, the other to digress. The plot of distorting the helpful teachings has been used to repeat throughout your species' development by the forces that do not wish you to succeed. Much of your present teachings are so contaminated by these distortions that the true meaning of the original teachings has been lost or applied in a way that creates the opposite effect for which the teachings were originally intended. During your recorded history, much information was given to assist humanity's development. Your speculations about ancient astronauts bringing knowledge and technological advancements to Earth cultures are quite accurate. Give me just one moment. I need to close my studio door. All right. Okay. The method of assisting your culture was indeed employed often in your historical development. Certain cultures were able to interact directly with the travelers from other systems. One such group is the ancient Egyptians, another is the Melchizedeks, the group that has fragmented to become those affiliated with the Christian and Jewish faiths. The predecessors of your Celtic and Druid lineages also had involvement with interstellar teachers, as did many others. At one time or another, the teachers interacted with all human subgroups, helping to form the basis for these mythologies and creation stories, their psychologies, and their technologies. The group of teachers we would like you to become familiar with are the aforementioned Zionites. 10:10 on the timer, so it's time to draw this to a close. With the protection card, at this time we are being guided to call back our power and bless and release any and all things that no longer serve us. To unlearn so that we can relearn who we truly are, why we came here, and what our soul's mission truly is, and what it means for humanity as well as all of creation. Just know, beloveds, you are protected and you are never alone. Thank you so very much for tuning in. From my heart chakra to yours, brightest of blessings.